Hello. I hope you all are doing well. Today is Monday. It is our second week on social distancing. I hope you're practicing. I am. It's not fun, but it's good for humanity. Let's be good for humanity. Real quick, say hi. Hi, Zora, say hi. Okay. So maybe she'll leave me alone now. Nope, just kidding. She'll be in all our videos. All right, so I'm gonna try to keep this short and sweet. This is one that is not necessarily in, you don't have a physical copy of this yet. This is for Algebra 1. If you're in your Algebra 1 workbook, and I'll show you where that is share, and it is, we'll do this one. Okay. Oh, this is the one I'm looking for. You can fast forward through all my silliness. Okay, so this is our shared folder that everyone has access to, whether you're in any of my classes, and some people have requested it. That's good. So in the shared folder, it's now just the Algebra 1 one, so that we're not like, oh, I got to share it to period 3 and blah, blah, blah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 copies. One is the blank that you can print if you have a printer. But please don't write on this one because I want everyone to have a free copy of it. And then there'll also be one that says annotated. And what annotated means is that I've written on this one, the video link will be on this one, so you can see both. That might not be the system forever, but it'll be the system for right now. All right, so we have time, so I might as well do these sheets. Some of them you might already know how to do, and that's cool. So we're going to use these requirements called sketch the parabola. Use the requirements to sketch a parabola. Your graph must include a labeled vertex. All right, so, and we just have to follow these requirements. The vertex is a minimum. So what does that mean? Well, I know in my head, I'm thinking it's going to be this way, right? Because if it's a minimum, it means it's down low. Right? So I know at least that's where my graph should be. And really sketches are okay at this point. All right, so vertex is a minimum, check. No x-intercepts. Okay, so what that means is we want this line to be somewhere up here, not down here. Because if it's down here, or even down here, or anywhere down this way, I'd have x-intercepts. I would have an x-intercept here, and I'd have an x-intercept here. It's where it crosses the x-axis. So I don't want that. So I'm going to take my line, see if I can grab it. Yep. And I'm going to move it up. Okay, so I'm going to put it right there for right now. That's fine. I just know it has to be above the lines. Erase this mess. All right, cool. So no x-intercepts. All right. Then the axis of symmetry is the y-axis. So the y-axis, if you remember, is when x equals 0, right? So what that means is my intercept, which is not very pretty, but that's fine. Yeah, it can be right there, right? We're gonna pretend that it's right. I guess I could draw it a little neater if I wanted to have my point here, and then I know it goes up 1 on both sides. Oh, well, it doesn't have to be, actually, a doesn't have to equal to 1. I was just drawing it with a equals to 1. Actually, no, it wasn't. I just roughly sketched it, and that's fine. So there we go. It has the axis of symmetry on the y-axis. It has no x-intercepts, and the vertex is a minimum. So we have to fill in down here. For the function a, x minus h squared plus k, remember h and k are my, is my vertex. That's why it's the vertex form. Use the signs to fill in the blanks. All right, so a, here. A has to be, oh, sorry, it's facing up. So what does that mean? Well, that means that A has to be greater than 0, right? Because if it's positive, it's smiling, isn't it? So happy, positive. My children right now, not so happy and positive. Happy, positive, frown, negative, right? So it has to be greater than 0. H. Okay, so what is my point here? Well, let's label the axis because it tells us that we must. So that is the point 0, because it doesn't go left and right at all, but it goes up 2, right? That's going to help us here. Here, H, so this is my H, this is my K. Well, if if the axis of symmetry is on the y-axis, where x equals 0, then h equals 0. And in this case, because it's above, since we had to move it up, shifted it up, k is going to be greater than 0. In this case, k is 2. All right, let's try a couple of these. The vertex is a maximum. All right, so maximum means I'm going to be there are 2 real x-intercepts. Okay, so I can, and I can just go whoop, draw it. I know it's ugly, it doesn't matter. All right, so there are 2 real x-intercepts. What does that mean? All right, well, if this was down here, it never crosses the x-axis. So it is not an x-intercept. If I move it up here, oh, it does cross it, however many times I want to. All right, so that it has to be somewhere there where it crosses this axis here and here, or it could be here and here. It doesn't matter exactly where here is, but it just has to happen. So that's that one. The axis of symmetry is left of the y-axis. So left means, left or my right? Left is going to go this way, right? So we can use this point, and then it has to, let's say, I just want to make it, it's not very pretty. Pretty is not, art, math is in the eye of the beholder, we'll say today. So I'm going to say that that's my vertex. We're going to pretend that this side, oops, I just accidentally deleted it, so maybe I'll make it right. This side and this side should be mirror images of each other. That's what the axis of symmetry does, right? It's our mirror. Okay, so what is that point? Oh, I love writing in red. The point is 1, 2, 3, -3, positive 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 4. So that's the point. So our vertex is -3, 4. And that's going to help us with this part because we have to fill in the signs. All right, so what's A? A tells me, well, I know. We're not worried about that right now. A is telling you positive or negative. This one's negative, so that means that it has to be less than 0. H, all right, so I know this is my H and this is my K. H is negative, right? H, since we moved to the left, that means that H is negative. So H is going to have to be less than 0. And K, since we had to make it cross 2 times, that means it had to start above. So that means that K is going to be greater than 0. Okay, maybe we'll try another one. These ones are vertex and y-axis minimum, no real x. It's pretty similar to the first one. X is right. We could do that one. Let's go to the end. Yeah, let's do the last one. Nope, this last one's number 8. Let's do a couple in the back end and then we'll be done. All right, so vertex is a maximum. So that means it has to be shaped this way because I need something at the top. So I'm just gonna skip. Again, it should be a mirror image, but I'm a math teacher. Okay, so the vertex is the minimum. There are no real x-intercepts. So that means it can't be up here because right now I have an x-intercept here and here. So this got to move down. And the axis of symmetry is to the left again. I should have done the right one, but this way is to the left. I'm going to make this my axis of symmetry. My axis of symmetry is where x equals -3. So that point here for the vertex is going to be -3, and then we went down, so it's -1. All right. So my A, positive. Positive, negative. Big frown. I think it's a pretty good quadratic frown. Negative. So this one is negative, so we want it to be less than 0. Since we moved to the left, H is a -3, so H is going to be less than 3. And K, in this case, is -1, so it must be less than 0. All right, let's try one. I think this one is the right, so we'll do this one. Ooh, and I like this one. Okay, it's a minimum at the bottom, right? So I'm just gonna sketch it. Oops, that's Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll just do it again. That's not much better. Doesn't matter. Okay, so vertex is a minimum, so it's going to be this way. So maybe I could just throw in A has to be greater than 0 because it's positive. And then H. Okay, so well, that's this one. Getting ahead of myself. We did this one. There's one x-intercept. What does that mean? Well, I knew down here it had none because it never crosses. Up here, there, excuse me, when there were two x-intercepts that crossed twice, now it's going to tell me to cross one. Does anyone have any idea? I wish you guys were here so I could ask you. Does anyone have any ideas what that could be? Well, 0, 2, 0, 2. So if I do this, it touches it once. I know that it looks like it touches it longer because I have a bad drawing, but it doesn't matter. That is when it's going to touch once. It's going to touch once when it's touching the x-axis. And the axis of symmetry is to the right. So here, we're going to pretend that that's right on the origin. Here is to the left, so here is to the right. I'm going to make it right there. I'm going to call this point my vertex. So I'm going to call that the point 3, and then it doesn't go up or down, so it's 0. All right, that makes my life a lot easier here. So H, since it is to the right, that means that it is greater than 0. And K, in this case, is going to be equal to 0. Now, even if it was in a different spot, even if I pulled it over here to 5, it's 5, 0. Pulled it over here to 8, 8, 0. So K is always going to equal to 0 if it's just touching that axis. All right, so hopefully you guys can print it or just draw something, sketch it. Anything is fine, just to get that practice in on those other questions. If you have any questions, please email me. I'm trying to be responsive. I think that I've answered a couple students' questions, and I'm happy to answer more. All right, hope you guys are doing well. See you soon, hopefully. If not, we'll Zoom.